Well, this is the foundation, the basis for any tyranny. All right,
Secrecy,
it must be secret.
Yeah.
You cannot simply open up. I don't care where it is, the Soviet Union, how much power they have. If you open up everything that they're doing, the people will rise up when they see that, and they will almost in union, but they will revolt against that.
Are they here? Or our guests here?
Yes, they are.
Oh, hi. Welcome to Talking Racine. It's Monday morning once again. Mr. George Myers.
Morning.
Mr. Jim Spodek. Dr. Ken Jorgen. Say, man, oh man, did you guys, I know you guys did you guys happen to read the front page of the Journal Sentinel, Thursday, September 20th? Journal Sentinel. Racine Open Records case fought in secrecy. Man, oh man. This is about the issue that you may or may not be aware of with Alderman Sandy Weidner and a battle that's been ongoing with the city administration. And there was an article written about it in the Journal Sentinel. And I spoke to somebody the other night who was a pretty intelligent guy. In fact, he's been involved in government. He and his wife read the article, and they weren't really sure what the heck the story was about.
Well, just look at that headline, just in a simple, and just a
Well, I
you have an open records case. There's a battle about getting records open. Should they be open? Should we show them now? And that is being held in secrecy. So it's bad enough we're trying to get some open records out there, out of the, open to the public, right? But we're even going to discuss it in secret.
But he wanted to know what the heck is this story all about? And we've talked about it enough, and we know enough about it. Basically, what happened was a city policy was violated, and it was violated or ignored or breached to the benefit of an individual. And that information that happened was brought to the attention of Alderman Weidner. So now she's got this information that a policy has been breached, and she goes to the city council and to the administration as well, and says, listen, I don't want to carry this around. It's inappropriate that I'm the only person that knows about this, and I don't believe I am the only person that knows about it. And the fact that policy was violated for the benefit of an individual, if somebody else is not given the benefit of a violation of policy, it would open up the city to even more lawsuits. And we've got enough lawsuits. So her contention was, we need to air this out, we need to deal with this, and the response was, shut up, Alderman Weidner.
Yeah, because the violation was known.
Yeah.
Right.
It was known by
a limited number
in the area. Yeah, it wasn't known throughout the city, obviously, but it was known that this violation had taken place, and that was kept a secret. But somehow it got to Alderman Weidner, and now she felt, oh wow, we can't keep this a secret for what you said, the reason you said. If this gets out, and it was only that one person that got the benefit of it, then other people who aren't allowed the advantage of violating that policy would want to sue.
They would have a right to sue.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so now she wants to open it up
and clean it up.
Yeah. And so now this discussion of whether we should clean it up or not says no. That whole thing has got to be kept secret.
And it goes probably a little deeper than that, because now bring it to the aldermen who probably were unaware of some of it, but when they were aware of it, they then covered it up. And and then we got to go back.
Well, they agreed to let the city attorney sustain the cover-up, and I think it was kind of a benign agreement, like, oh, well, okay.
I'll tell you what. Then the politics moved into it. Now, there's probably a lot more to these open records, these emails, because what they did is on the 22nd of August, 2017.
Right.
Yeah. They had an executive meeting. Now, an executive meeting is usually the mayor and a few of the executive committee members, which are usually aldermen. The attorney called in all the aldermen because he wanted to show that this amount of information that Alderman Weidner is releasing to the public. And
it's dangerous.
Oh my God! And so this information that she's releasing to the constituents. So he does a PowerPoint. Now, part of that comes out in this article here that there was a couple of these incidents were revealed. Alderman Weidner said, I'm not doing anything wrong.
Well, they didn't even tell her what the meeting was going to be about.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they come in, do a PowerPoint,
it's an important
lay
meeting.
her out.
Everybody's
It
gotta
talks
be
about
there.
it in the article, lays her out on this, and then, of course, they have no idea, these aldermen, and I actually, in this article, I'm quoted as saying they're naive and uninformed, which I still hold true.
That's a pretty harsh assessment of our leadership, Jim.
Anyway, on the 20th, they go for this ethics. But you have to remember, she just had announced that she was running for mayor on the end of July, 29th of July. And so by August, we got ethics violations on Alderman Weidner.
Yeah.
Because obviously, they didn't want Alderman Weidner to be the mayor.
Something smell funny?
Yeah, real funny. So, so now let's throw some politics into the middle of this. And now it's moved to the court system.
Yeah. Jeez.
Which we can kind of move into that area here.
Yeah.
And that's when the article pops up, right?
Right.
It's in the court system, and the judge in charge also contributes to the cover-up by closing the case.
Yeah.
Because if we started sealing it. So closing means ending it. Yeah. Sealing it means it goes on, but no one gets to talk about it outside of the courtroom.
Exactly.
Certainly not us.
Yeah.
One of the things the judge says when asked about sealing this case. Now we're talking about open records, the government's, the people's business, not the mayor's business, not the judge's business. It's the people's business, and that's number one. I think we have to kind of keep that in forefront. The judge said recently he sealed the case because of the nature of the action. It's one that shouldn't be open. I made a public policy determination. Not
Wait a
law.
minute, don't judges, aren't they supposed to determine if something is legal or illegal?
Apparently a public policy determination. That's the first time I saw that one.
Yeah, I don't recall a judge making a determination on that either. It's a whole different ball of wax.
It'd be interesting to define that. What is a public policy
Yeah,
determination?
and who makes those decisions? Isn't that somewhat done by citizens in the community?
In the meantime, the ethics case is on hold. Alderman Weidner sued to get records, which was basically the PowerPoint
Right.
The
presentation.
PowerPoint presentation was made to Lambaster at that committee meeting.
She says, "Give me a copy of that."
Yeah.
No, you can't have that. It's sealed. We can show it to you at a time and place of our choosing, but no record of it should ever be allowed to be going out to the public or to you. If you memorize it, that's fine. You just can't share it with anybody.
Well,
and you can't have a
here's
copy of it.
one of the questions I have is why? Why is it so dangerous for this information to be given to the public? What is in this that is so dangerous that the public cannot see this information?
Mm-hmm.
Bill Louters from the Everything I Know About This Case Seems Atrocious, said Bill Louters, president of the Wisconsin Freedom of Information Council.
You know what would probably answer that question?
What's that, George?
What they are hiding.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you see what they're hiding, it makes sense that we don't want
George,
this to be gotten out.
I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this video because this was played during the campaign. Now it's on Machinery Row, and Sandy Weidner came out and made a statement on Machinery Row and said in the newspaper in one of the articles, "I want a forensic audit." Now, a forensic audit is
It's
one
a
that
criminal audit.
criminal
it's
audit.
just looking for criminal activity,
Correct.
or the solution to who did what in the criminal matter.
Exactly.
Let's
And
not
she
be looking
asked
for a
for a
crime. There's a crime there. We
forensic audit.
want to find out who did it.
So when you ask for a forensic audit, you're looking for who committed this crime. So there's obviously a crime.
Is there proof that a crime has been committed?
Well, is there any proof in these emails that are sealed? And who's sealing? Why are they sealed? I mean, why are we sealing this stuff?
Yeah, but I mean, getting back to the idea of a forensic audit, it was like,
Hell yes. I mean, we've talked about it multiple times.
yeah, but I mean, we're here to educate the public.
Hello, my name is Sandy Weidner. There is an important issue that I think the public needs to entirely understand regarding Machinery Row. In June of 2014, then Mayor John Dickert, City Administrator Tom Friedel, State Representative Corey Mason had a press release announcing this huge development that was going to take place along the riverfront in the city of Racine. in what is now known as Machinery Row. In that announcement, Rodney Blackwell announced that he was going to purchase properties for a redevelopment that would be commercial and residential, and it would be a private and a public endeavor for this development. However, there was never any private money put into this development. By September of 2014, having done his due diligence, Rodney Blackwell determined that he could not move forward with this project. That didn't mean the city of Racine did not want to have that property, though, because after all, it's along the water, it's along the river. So the city of Racine, under the leadership of John Dickert and Tom Friedel, convinced Rodney Blackwell to stay in the game. And they did that with enticing him with a 10% development fee that would be provided to him out of money we were loaning him for the purchase of those properties. So we, the council, were told that the properties that he wanted to purchase cost $4.5 million, when in all actuality, the real purchase price was only $4,050,000. So from that $4.5 million, he, Rodney Blackwell, received a kickback in the form of this loan that went into a development account called an escrow account. And from that account, he could dip into, at his own will, to take out what he considers to be development costs. So the enticement for Rodney Blackwell to stay in this was the $450,000 account that he depleted in less than a year and a half. So the Common Council, having no idea that Rodney Blackwell wanted out of this before this development even got off the ground, continued to give extensions. And I just want you to know that I voted against loaning him the money in December of 2014 because it just didn't feel right. Something did not, he had nothing invested in this project, and we were aware of that. But we continued to plunge forward believing that the administration was giving us accurate information, which ultimately turned out to be incorrect. The council was given bad information and were basically lied to about.
No, we've seen the fraud.
Yep.
We've presented the fraud. Now we need to find out more about how it came
But
about.
is the judge covering us up? Is he part of the cover-up?
Well, I think he is, but I'm not going to go so far as to say that he's doing it to be part of the cover-up because he's going into collusion.
First time in 9 years he's ever sealed a case, George.
Well,
9 years, first time I've ever sealed a case. And we're going to do one with freedom of information?
I just don't think, I could be wrong on this, but I don't think the judge has anything to do with City Hall. I don't see him cavorting with those people and coming about and having helped perpetrate this thing against Sandy Weidner and all this type of stuff. I think that maybe he got convinced by the city attorney.
But how do you convince when you're actually in court, when there should be no communication between the judge and either attorney, really?
Well, I don't know about that part of the
interesting.
Somebody had to convince him. Somebody had to present the argument. Somebody had to ask that it be closed. I doubt he did it totally on his own volition.
Well,
no, you I know you were at the court when that thing was held. Were you there to hear the arguments?
I'm going to play a little video.
Okay.
Yeah, you seem to go down into the courtroom and various other places, and you use that very camera that I'm looking into right now to record things that are happening around town that would be of interest to the people that are on the other end of that camera watching. And what happens sometimes when you go in there, when you have every right to document these things with videotape, is it ever denied you?
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yes, I have been denied. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you. I'll show you.
Wow.
I'm walking in and I'm walking out. But I left the camera on so you could see me walking in and walking out.
Yeah.
But I was told that this is going to be a sealed case. And I have to tell you, I was a little bit surprised at that point. I mean, it was, I went into the judge's chambers. He told me this is a sealed case. And I thought, well, what could possibly be in this? I know more than likely there's something in there that obviously they don't want to be let out. And I did. I left, and but I felt it was wrong, and I still feel it's wrong, and that's.
But Jim, when it comes down to it, you went in after the decision was made. They went into the back room first, right? And then you proceeded back there. And all I'm saying is, most likely, the city attorney Scott Letney told the judge, "I want this thing. I want it sealed," and convinced the judge it should be sealed. And the judge, I'm just guessing now, but I could see where this would be a plausible procedure. As the judge was convinced that, well, here's Scott Letney, he's a city attorney, he's a responsible person, right?
Why did you pause
Only
and
tells
say
only tells the truth.
I can't help
And
it.
says, "Well, Scott Letty, okay, the city attorney, okay, I will go along with his request and I will seal it." I can't picture them going back there and nobody has to be sealed. And the judge said, "Well, this is really something. I'm going to seal this case." I just don't.
I
think
think this was all. I'll be honest with you. I think there was
implausible.
some discussion beforehand.
Now, you
That's just
mentioned
my-
the clip. Did you have a clip that you wanted to share with people, or yes or no?
let's go.
Okay, do that.
The judge wants to see the attorneys back in the chambers. And, oh. Gentlemen with the camera, y'all come in.
Well, they're holding it to a level of ethics until he rules.
Okay, we can come back. I'll show the clip, and it's walking in, walking out.
So that was basically you just walking in and out?
Oh, you don't see anything of anything that went on?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
The camera wasn't going
Kick
while
me
you were
out.
gone or anything like
There
that?
you go.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, we got other stuff we got to get to. So why don't we say we'll put this item to bed for a little bit. Anyway, we're going to pause for a minute, and then we got another topic we're going to come up today, part 2. We took a break there from the taping, and we discussed fascism for a little bit, and what the results of fascism are, what the origins of it are, and we came to the conclusion that fascism, one of the effects of fascism anyway, is that your property rights are null and void.
You lose them. You're losing property to a greater or lesser degree, depending on how deep the fascism goes.
Right.
It could be from a simple thing like when you're going to paint your house, or what colors you're going to paint your house, to something as
To whether or not you even own your house.
You're going to get to keep it. That's right.
So, the reason we're discussing that is because eminent domain is a perfect example of you not owning your property. You think you own your property when in fact it is only at the permission of a more powerful entity. In this particular instance, with Foxconn and with us and our fellow citizens, that entity is Mt Pleasant and the village board, which has decided that in order to benefit Foxconn and this wonderful Taiwanese corporation that's coming in to provide jobs and et cetera, and stimulate the economy.
Right.
There
always has to be a reason for
Right,
it.
it has to be a
That's
good
the thing about
reason.
fascism is
Right.
it gives you a
It's
reason.
always- It's a good reason. And so your Fifth Amendment rights are just out the window.
Right.
They're gone.
Right.
Now, is that okay with you? That's what this discussion is.
Well, I'd kind of like to go back. Let's just talk a little bit about fascism. It was kind of interesting. I'd like to kind of just touch on that. It was, well, we can go way back to, what would you call it?
1930s. It was Mussolini was
Mussolini.
actually the person that gave it its name. Originally, it was called the Third Way. You had socialism on one side and what was called free market capitalism on the other side. Now, free market capitalism, the best I can glean from what I was reading about it, is basically what we call libertarianism today. In other words, you own property and you could, So it's been around for a little while.
Do whatever you want with it.
But we had the third way, which is the middle ground. And in the middle ground, you gave up, you maintained title to the property, you still had it, but you gave up some of the control of it. And Mussolini was the one that gave it its name, and he took it from the word the fasces. You used to be on fasces. Used to be a kind of a rendering of it. Used to be on the back of our dimes.
Right.
It had the
Oh,
the
yeah,
thing
yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Yeah, I remember that.
sticks with the battle axe in the center of it. So that was the fasces. I mean, this was the fascism when it first came out was very popular. You know, the presidents and people, leaders in Europe, all thought Mussolini was doing something really cool. You know, so at any rate, that was the start of it. But it didn't take it away totally. It wasn't socialism where the government just comes in and runs everything. You know, just takes it over
On your behalf.
Yeah, always on your behalf.
Right. It's always about freedom.
It's always
make
for
things
you.
better for you.
Even
Right.
the fascist is for you.
Yeah.
But that's the basic. That's where it got its name,
Right.
and that's how it developed. And it was right back there with old Benito, and his group, the black shirts.
So the question is this a fascistic program that we have with Foxconn? And I say that it is.
And I agree.
I say that this is fascism, pure and simple.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
Now-
pure and simple. I mean, you have Mount Pleasant is taking the property and turning it over from individual cruisingers and there's a couple other people, and they're turning it over to
A
a
corporation.
corporation.
And a foreign corporation at that.
And not only that, they're giving them money to this foreign
Yeah.
corporation, which is actually using their own tax dollars to purchase this property and to give it to a foreign corporation. That is pure fascism. Now, your Republican Party is behind it. There's no other way. Where is your representatives in the Republican Party? Oh, I'm a good Republican.
Now, does that make the Democrats our heroes?
Oh, we're getting to that. Basically, in this particular instance, I mean, I can't go any further than to say the Republicans in our local government here now are fascists. I don't know. That's where I'm going with it.
Well,
Yeah.
but when I just to get the other party in on this too. When
Well, bring it in.
fascism is where the individual still maintains title, but the government kind of tells you what you can do with it. You know what you can do with your property. You know how big a sign you can put out and all that type of stuff. When the government takes it over totally and runs it like we have with our school systems, police departments, fire department, that type of thing, that's where you get into socialism. Under socialism, the government owns it now. Title actually transfers to the government.
Right.
And typically, the people that push that are the Democrats. So the Democrats tend to be very socialistic in nature, and the Republicans tend to be very fascist in nature. So I think you're right on that, and both parties have got big problems.
And guess
that's
what?
why we continue to fight between those two, and things keep getting worse, and we
Yeah.
wonder why.
Right. You
Yeah.
wonder why? Because
And they
you
have
don't
to,
have-
and they have to compromise between whether the government's going to own everything or the government's just going to control it.
I've seen it out there.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
I see these Democrats come
Oh,
in.
my God.
Where are the Democrats? No, they've ushered in Foxconn. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, now they're feeling like Tony Evers and Randy Bryce. And, oh, we don't really think Foxconn. No, you were there in the beginning talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
Foxconn and bringing it in and waving the flags. Please come. Fascism. You brought fascism to Mount Pleasant.
Oh man, I tell you what, we're stepping out here.
Well, we are, but
I mean,
it's the absolute
people
truth.
are probably out there going, "Oh my God, what are they
What
saying?"
are they talking
No,
about?
those guys are crazy conspiracy guys.
But it's
But it's
true.
absolutely
It's not a
true.
conspiracy.
No, it's not
it's an
whatsoever.
ideology.
Here, let me read this letter here for you people. Subject: 90-day notice of occupancy. Dear Mr. Blodgett, Mr. Blodgett is somebody who owns property that is needed for the Foxconn development. The village of Mount Pleasant has concluded the acquisition of the property you occupy. Not the property you own, the property you occupy. You get the subtle little difference there? This letter serves as your 90-day notice to vacate the property. Not get the hell out of your home, vacate the property.
Okay. That I didn't notice it when I first read the paper. That's right. They didn't say the property
No.
that you own.
Yeah. You're
When I
assigned-
read it, I was thinking they were a tenant. No, it's a property. They do
Yeah,
own it.
yeah.
They're saying it's a property you occupy, and then the presumption there. They didn't want to put in ownership in there because ownership is very hallowed ground.
No, that implies you got some rights.
Yeah, I know it.
Your assigned relocation agent, Howard Allen, will contact you within the next week to discuss your specific relocation assistance package.
Howard, how do you wake up in the morning? How do you feel in the morning when you get up and you go to relocate Todd? How you feel?
Are you trying to upset this man? I mean,
They should all be upset.
I mean,
This
Howard's probably a nice guy. You're giving him nightmares, Jim.
He should have nightmares.
Property management. The village now owns the property. not your property, the property. To establish the terms for your continued occupancy, you must sign the enclosed occupancy and use agreement for your property, which is now the property. The village will not charge rent during this 90-day period. Hey, well, that's pretty respectful, you know. I mean, I'm taking your property, but I'm not going to charge you rent to live on it for the next 90 days. 90-day notice of occupancy.
You know what happened to Mussolini?
Hang on. We can go over that. This letter also serves as notice that you have 90 days occupancy from today's date. Your expected vacation date is November 19th, 2018. Should you have any further questions or concerns?
November 19th. That's right about Thanksgiving.
Regarding the program, not the confiscation of your property, but the program, please contact me at, and here's the number you want to contact, Peter, what is this, Meistbauer? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks
His
like.
phone number is 608-424-3330. And if you have any questions or concerns regarding the program or anything about property rights, Pete's the guy to talk to. I'd recommend you give him a call.
Give him a call.
You never know. I mean, somebody might want to build some foreign corporation might want to build something on your property, or I mean the property that you now occupy. So give Peter a call, see if you can get that straightened out.
Now, I understand that the people have a real good chance to see government in operation this evening at 6:30. Is that right?
Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant Village Board meeting.
Mount Pleasant Village Board
Go to
meeting.
it. I'm gonna get down there and try to film it because I want to keep this one in the archive because
You and that damn camera.
it gets a lot of action. But it really, I
Have you
want
thought
to
about
keep it.
opening up a GoFundMe page to get like maybe a couple more cameras?
Get
or
a guard.
A really,
Get some
really
guards.
good one?
Yeah. Get some guards around
Get a
me.
bulletproof camera.
Oh my God.
There was a film that was done by a Palestinian man. I think it was called
9 cameras.
Was it 9 cameras? I thought it was like 5. It's 9?
9. He got blown up 9 times. His camera got blown
I mean,
off.
the guy was documenting interactions between the Israelis and the Palestinians.
9 cameras, 7 cameras, something like 9
Yeah,
cameras. Yeah.
but destroyed because they didn't want him to be documenting things.
He got beat up a few times too.
Yeah, and he filmed people being shot. I mean, literally murdered.
Well, this is the foundation, the basis for any tyranny. All right,
Secrecy,
it must
right?
be secret.
Yeah.
You cannot simply open up. I don't care where it is, the Soviet Union, how much power they have. If you open up everything that they're doing, the people will rise up when they see that, and they will almost in union, but they will revolt against that.
We go back to the first part of the show when you talk about secrecy. You talk about tyranny, and that's Sandy Weidner with this
That's right.
court order.
If what's going on in City Hall, if they're going to keep that little that wasp nest going over there, it has to be done in secret.
Right.
You cannot start opening it up. By the way, it gives me a chance now. I made a statement at the last program. I said, if you guys ask me, what do you need to do to change these things that are going on in City Hall, and I said, well, elect a libertarian as the mayor. I'm going to not necessarily rescind it, but I think there's a more practical way to do it, a better way to get about it, and that is the first step is totally open up government. Get a mayor that's going to really open it up, because if the people of the city, people watching this program, the people not watching this program, if they could somehow magically know everything that's going on in that government and how it's happening and who's doing it, there would be such an uprising. It would all change almost overnight. And it's only the fact that we don't know for 2 reasons. One, a lot of people just don't bother to learn about it.
Right.
But the more important one is a lot of it's being kept secret from you. The aldermen aren't even allowed now to put it out. And so,
Well, let me ask you, George. Hasn't every recent administration, basically everybody that's run for a local government office or a national
I know what you're going to say.
government
Go on,
office
get to it.
have pledged to open government?
Absolutely.
Transparency.
Every time they bring that up, and they never do it.
You're calling bullshit on them?
Yeah. Well, if they're going to maintain that power structure, they cannot do it.
Right.
And they're getting in there with
George,
money.
that's
and they're
why
getting
they
in there with
don't
power.
like this show, because, and believe me, we catch a lot of flack, but they don't like this show because we open up government. We open up, when we find it out, and people contact us, and they contact us, from the vampires are sleeping and we get information.
And we would tell you a lot more, quite honestly. There are things that we know that we would love to share with you, but they would jeopardize people that, through no fault of their own, are in a situation where they would be subject to repercussions if we revealed some things that are going on.
Right.
So, pay attention to what we're saying, review it on your own, research it on your own. Don't blame us.
I would say we're eventually, ultimately going to be putting it out.
Oh, yeah.
All this stuff will
It's
come out
not,
eventually.
it's not
but-
forever secret. It's just
Right.
it's a little untimely.
Right. But
Well, we don't want to cause harm to any innocent
no,
victims.
and we don't. And what we do is we keep a lot of this in confidence.
And there's an orderly way to bring about a reformation. I mean, I as a libertarian, know
Martin Luther knew that.
And I know as a libertarian, you can't just institute a libertarian government.
Right.
It's not going to happen. It'd be too much turmoil. So we do it gradually, and a lot of you are probably people watching this show are ready for it. Just we still have to watch it.
I always go back,
Someday you'll
George.
wake up
why are
and
we
George
in
will be in
a
charge.
Don't let that happen.
That won't happen.
Do not let that happen.
George won't let that happen. No, thank you.
But I always go back to why is Racine in the situation it is? We collect a lot of money. We do all the same things. Our taxes are higher than anybody in the area, but everybody seems to do well. Now all of a sudden we go to get a foreign company. We give them billions of dollars. We bring them in here to save us. Why? Why do we need to be saved?
Well, you know
definitely
what?
wrong.
I took a picture of my house earlier today. I want you to put that up on the screen.
Okay.
And I just want the powers that be, to know that whether they've done this with some of the people in the Foxconn campus. They put money in their account and say, okay, now we own your property. I mean, there's no sales transaction that goes on.
No.
Really. So if you would put like $100,000 in my account, you can have my house. I mean, put a picture of it up.
Go for 150. These guys got all kind of money.
I'm not greedy. And I'll get the hell out of here. I'll get out of your hair, and I'll go find myself some place where I can sit on the...
Watch, next week we gone. We're gonna get George to fill the seat. He'll be gone.
Are there
Give
any wise guys in the city?
He's gone.
I think some Foxconn employee would love this house. It would be a beautiful thing, so give that some thought.
All right, I gave it some thought. I'm done. Let's go to the next thing.
Do we have a third segment that we were going to go into tonight? This is it, huh? Yeah, it's enough for me, too.
Yeah.
I tell you. It's been fun, and it's been frightening. And we've enjoyed having you here with us, and we wish you a pleasant day, and we hope to see you again next week. Or we don't see them, do we? We hope you see us again next week. Enjoy your day. Thank you.